I am Atlantis Wolf, and I have two passions, you and your power. I have spent the last 10 years as a medical massage therapist holding space for people, creating a space where they feel comfortable, not just in their body, but in their emotional body, so that they can let go of things that are causing them stress or disease or discomfort. I've also studied everything that I can in the mystical and spiritual arts in order to hold a better and better space, not being someone who would take away from people, but someone that could create a pure space for people to experience their own body and to experience their own fears in a safe place where they could realize by observing what was happening, they would be able to deal with it in a better way. During the 2020 shelter-in-place COVID-19 pause, it was very difficult not to be able to reach out to my clients and to my friends and help them in the way that I was used to, which is with my hands. After 10 years and thousands of clients, when I have someone on the table and put my hands on them, they sigh, they have a deep breath, they immediately feel better, and it's an easy gift because it's something that I've practiced for a long time. Being unable to touch them, I was frustrated and wanting to think of other ways that I could help. One thing that came to me as a complete vision was to create a series of meditation videos. Some way to connect with people and recreate that space that I create for them. In other words, find a way to reach out, give them away with the two pieces of invisible magic that I like the best, sound and your own breath, in order to empower them to move through their healing phase, their medical journey, their weight loss journey, their trauma, just their daily coping. And so the idea for these videos was born. I know that the best thing that I can do is just hold a space for someone, not take anything away from them, not tell them things are going to be okay, because maybe what you think is okay is not what your soul needs right now. Maybe what you need is the experience that you're getting. But what I can do is I can give you a space where you can observe that. Meditation is about stepping out of the movie of life and sitting in the audience for a moment. It's not checking out of your life. It's not saying other people will take care of me and I don't need to do anything or engage. It's about pausing. Come back to the present moment. Look at everything as if it was a movie. It's just happening. It's not just happening to you. That's your ego. It is just happening. Your soul is sitting on one side watching all these things happen, understanding every experience is just an experience. There's illusion, there's experience. It's not that God hates you or your parents hate you or the person that's driving too fast hates you. It's just an experience. It has nothing to do with you. You are just experiencing it. When you can pause, when you can move into the present moment through breath, music, sound, you have the ability to pause and observe what is happening to you in a way that you didn't before, because you're just triggered. Most people that I see are in pain, and pain is a result of trigger after trigger after trigger after trigger without moving through. The emotions are not meant to stay inside of you like a vault. Emotions and experiences are meant to come through you, teach you something or nothing, and either way, let go. But we don't like to let go. We like to collect experiences. We like to collect trauma. We like to collect things that happen to us and imagine a story and wrap a story around why this is happening. You could do that if you want. And I'm never going to tell anyone not to have pain or not to have trauma or anything. All I want you to do is to spend a few minutes with me and give yourself and your body a moment to relax into what is actually happening. When you can see things for what they are, the experience may become more evident, the greater picture, where does this fit in the arc? Maybe what's happening to you is to force you on your next path of evolution. Maybe you're supposed to leave that job, leave that marriage, leave that city, leave that behind. How else, unless you're uncomfortable, will you change? So I've set up a series of videos. My goal is to create a situation where there's a 20-minute meditation embedded in a 30-minute video. So 5 minutes at the beginning, I will introduce the topic, sort of the focus for the meditation, walk you into the idea, stop talking, create drumming and music and sound so that you can be with that topic in your own body, and then move you back into the 3D world in a gentle way. These are all meant to be very gentle. They're meant to be listened to as often as you need. They are topic-based so that you can look through the library and choose what resonates with you that day. Maybe it's the 3-breath meditation, maybe it's the chakra meditation, maybe it's the meditation that has to do with letting go of an old story, telling yourself an old story for the last time, and then letting it go. You don't have to tell yourself any story. You can wake up and be completely new every single day. I'm also going to set up a situation of beauty. And what that means is I will find a beautiful place to be. I will move to a place where you're feeling like you can really feel the sights and sounds of wherever this beauty is. It's going to be probably outside, but where I live, it's not always a wonderful place to be outside. So sometimes it will be an altar or something I created inside, but it'll be something beautiful for you to watch and observe. If you need something to watch during the meditations, you can watch it. You can also close your eyes. You can also lay down. You can put on an eye mask. I do not recommend doing this in the car or at a place that needs your attention. These meditations are designed to create a moment of peace, a moment of quiet, a moment of inner stillness. There's so much external happening, and you can't control any of it. None of it. You can manifest, which is different, but as far as the things that are happening to you, you can't control that. You can control your breath. You can control your reaction. And it's better to move to a place where you can choose how to react to a situation instead of being triggered. Triggered means I say something and your ego responds. Choosing means I say something and you roll it around a few parts of your mind, and then you choose how to respond. You may choose silence as a response. You may choose a pause. You may just say, okay. But remember, every reaction is an energetic agreement between you and the other person. If someone is triggering you in anger, and you respond in anger, you have made an agreement to walk that bridge of anger back and forth for a long time. You can also choose, if someone speaks to you in anger, to let it go. It sounds easy. It becomes easier the more you are still inside. Your interior landscape is what matters. Everything else will fix itself, and you'll see things differently. When you are quiet and still inside, you will have the world reflected back to you in a different way than if you are triggered all the time. So, how are we going to do this? I'm going to be using different things to make the meditation, open the meditation, close the meditation. One thing I'll use is a shaky egg. And you can get these too. These are wonderful, small. Take it with you. Bring yourself into the present moment with sound. Sometimes I will open up the meditation with ting shas. That's what these are called, to bring you into the present moment. And for most of these meditations, I'll be using a drum, a skin drum, that looks like this. And it sounds like this. It's going to sound different depending on the time of the year. Where I am right now, it's very hot and it's very humid. And so the skin of the skin drum bounces. Even though I put it in the sun to help it dry out, it's still a little bouncy. So it will sound different times of the year. Right now, this is what it sounds like. And sometimes we'll call out to the ancestors. We'll call out to the four directions with a whistle to bring our attention to the present moment. And that will sound like this. We'll call to who needs to be called. Mostly, I'll be focusing on creating a space that you can come into, sit for a while, move into your inner place, your inner garden, the place inside of you that maybe was lost, or maybe you just haven't looked at it in a while. We'll spend a few minutes together. I'll walk you back out and give you time to breathe. It is my solemn, heartfelt hope that these meditations will allow you to have a sense of peace. The world is changing. It is not a peaceful time. It is a time of transformation. But inside of yourself, there is a peaceful part that's walking through this transformation with no trouble whatsoever. Let's go find that part together and let your body rest and let your emotions flow and let the peace that's inside of you well up and push everything you don't need off your path. I'll see you soon.